Welcome to the Arkansas State Red Wolves Dynasty on College Football 26. The action begins today as we try to transform this Arkansas State program into a college football powerhouse. I like the team we get to start this series with. I think we have some fun playmakers on offense. It should be a really interesting season as we get this journey underway. And today, we're going to open the first year of the series. We have our first game against an FCS opponent. And we're also going to talk about recruiting and what that looks like here in Season 1. Arkansas State is a one-star program in the Sun Belt, and we start as a 69 overall. The Red Wolves went 8-5 last year, winning their bowl game. And the offensive nucleus we get to open this series with has a third-year starter at quarterback in Jalen Rayner, and one of the best receivers in the Sun Belt in wideout Corey Rucker, who is already the Red Wolves' leading receiver in team history. We have some proven talent in the backfield as well, with running backs Kenyon Clay and Jaquez Cross. These are two seniors and two juniors that will lead the way on the offensive side. While on defense, our best player is senior edge rusher Brian Whitehead, with Chris Body, who transferred over from Liberty after last season. He provides some needed strength in the middle of this defensive line. And we have some standout run defenders with Javonte Mackey at linebacker and the Minnesota native Trayvon Howard at strong safety. Best near the box as a downhill run enforcer. It's fun getting to know a brand new team, and I hope you're all excited about the start of this series and Season 1. Outside of Corey Rucker, this team definitely needs someone to emerge at receiver, especially looking ahead to next season when Rucker will have graduated. I like the depth a lot at running back. Jaquez Cross is a senior, and we'll see about players like Kenyon Clay if they come back for their senior years. I know that the transfer portal is much more of a factor in this game as well. So roster management's going to be pretty interesting early in this series. I know one thing I really have to get to work on is this offensive line. It's hard to climb the ranks of college football without being strong in the trenches, and the O-line, I think, is one of our greatest weaknesses. But the defensive line, I think, is the strength of our defense. Brian Whitehead at edge rusher, Chris Body and Quincy Wright in the middle are both very good run defenders that can also get after the quarterback. At linebacker, Javonte Mackey is the best rated player and a good run defender, but I'm excited about Aaron Alexander as I think he's the most well-rounded linebacker this team has. He'll play a lot of snaps. The secondary is definitely an area of concern. This was a very poorly rated defense last year. They ranked outside the top 100 in most categories. It's already a low-rated unit, and then consider we have 3 senior starters. So I'll be targeting a lot of secondary players this year in recruiting. And here are the specialists, including our long snapper and Drew Nicholson. Clune Van Andel is the kicker. Alex Colbert is the punter. And it's time, everybody, to begin year 1 of the Arkansas State Red Wolves Dynasty. Thank you for all the feedback in that intro episode, especially with me talking about how different this series is going to be. We're going to have a lot of multi-game episodes, but here today, we're going to focus on our matchup against FCS Midwest, a tune-up game that can give us a chance to get to know this team and prepare for Arkansas the following week. It's going to be a drastic difference in competition. Subscribe to the channel to follow the journey of the Red Wolves throughout this series. The plan is to go through many years and watch this program transform year over year. Starting with the offense and the junior Jalen Rayner with a handoff, and our first play of the series is a run up the middle to Jaquez Cross. He gets 3. And Rayner on his first pass of the year, he rolls outside, and of course he's going to find the top receiver, number 7, Corey Rucker. Nice contested catch to kick this season off. First down, Red Wolves, and then we hand things off to the big running back in Kenyon Clay. 220 pounds. He's going to handle most of the carries between the tackles. Later on the drive, 3rd and 6. How about a leaping grab made on the outside? Again, Corey Rucker. Very strong first impression. We'll go with the play fake now and dumped off to the tight end who delivers a stiff arm. It's number 19, Tyler Fortenberry. The tight ends on this roster aren't the most dynamic, but they have reliable hands and they're good in the running game. Unblocked defender and a sack of Rayner knocks us back to 3rd down and 13. First tough spot of the year. And Rayner, he's going to fire over the middle, and that pass is caught. It is Hunter Summers, who's going to play a lot in the slot for this team. That's a 16-yard catch. And then we give it up the middle. Jaquez Cross to the end zone. And it's the first touchdown of the Arkansas State Dynasty. He's one of the fastest players on this team. Cross has 90 speed, 93 acceleration, and uses that to go 21 yards to the end zone. All right, good start for the offense. And now how about this defense? A unit that needs to improve dramatically after 2024. They ranked 130th in yards per carry given up a year ago. We get FCS Midwest into a long 3rd down, and ultimately it is a quick 3 and out. The next Arkansas State drive didn't go anywhere, but here is the next sequence for the defense where we lose track of the quarterback, and he's all of a sudden 18 yards downfield in the secondary. Fresh set of downs, we get some pressure, and then Trayvon Howard is right there to make the tackle. That is a loss of 3. Brian Whitehead had the pressure. Great play all around, but then we give up a pass across the middle, and it moves the sticks. Pass defense is one of my greatest concerns of the team here in Season 1. That is a 6-yard run for FCS Midwest. They try to get into a rhythm, but then we track down the quarterback and he's going nowhere. And making the play out in space is Marcus Bradley, one of our edge rushers. 3rd and 4, wide open again. We had nobody there but 3 defenders covering the deep receiver. Luckily for Arkansas State, the very next play is our first turnover of the year. It's going to be all up to this pass rush to make this pass defense work. Number 17 there, that's Chris Body with the hit. Ball flies out. I think this should technically be an interception, but it's a fumble recovery. Arkansas State gets the ball. And here late in the first quarter, Rayner over the middle again, finding Corey Rucker. We get to 3rd and short where Kenyon Clay is going to be called upon a lot, and he's able to muscle out those couple of yards. Starting off pretty inefficiently with the running game, but then Clay finds an opening, and he turns on the Jets. Deep into the secondary, he breaks out a stiff arm, and Kenyon Clay rips off the big run of 42 yards. Big block there by number 77. That's center Gabe Fortson. And Arkansas State takes it into the red zone. We're going to run some speed option a little awkwardly here. I'm a fan of speed option. We're going back to it sometime. After the gain of 3, then we manufacture a touch. It's Rucker inside the 5. Out at the 1. I knew we had to make sure he get the football early and often. But here at the 1, let Kenyon Clay wrap this one up. He's the reason we're down here in the red zone in the first place. 2 touchdowns via the ground game. We get both running backs to score early. 14-0 A-State, as I believe they're often abbreviated to. And that is a sack. Again, breaking through the middle, we have Quincy Wright this time. Starts as a double team. And then 70 never had a chance there of maintaining that block. 2nd down and 15. We're coming after the quarterback once again. 4th sack of the game. Number 12, Marcus Bradley, I think will get credit for the sack that time. All the way back on 3rd and 22. That's right. Just air it out. We're right there to defend it. Trayvon Howard knocks it away. Just a lot to like from the early minutes of this game. 14-0. Kenyon Clay continuing a big first half. 9 carries, 68 yards. We go back to the air on third down. A pass to Rucker as he's wide open. Nice blitz pickup on that play too by Jaquez Cross. We're going to give it to him here as a reward for that good block as he gains 6. It's the second red zone trip for Arkansas State. Plenty of time. Rayner to the end zone. His first passing touchdown of the series. That's Nana Burris at wide receiver. He's going to be the opposite outside receiver to Corey Rucker. First catch of the year. A nice post in front of that safety playing way too deep. What else can Arkansas State do in this first half? Well, we can certainly continue to get it to Rucker. He reverses field and just shows how different he is. Clearly the most dynamic player on the football field. Well, maybe Jaquez Cross has something to say about that as he works to the outside. That's a 3-yard gain. He'll get this third and short, and he can certainly get it done. Although he is a lot smaller than Clay. He's only 197. We're going to throw this again to a wide open Corey Rucker. Why won't they cover him? 8 catches, 100 yards. We're not even at halftime yet. This ball goes to Burris. He breaks outside on the jet sweep pass. And it's goal to go. Arkansas State's third red zone trip. This one's dumped to the tight end. Touchdown. Second touchdown pass. And this is Javion Fricks, the second tight end. 28-0 Red Wolves. A dominant showing to open the year, just as you hope to see. Nice tackle by Javante Mackey there in the hole. Third down and 3 for FCS Midwest. There's pressure, not escaping Brian Whitehead's pursuits. And the defense even has their great moments here early. The players we wanted to see stand out absolutely stood out. And the first half ain't done yet. Rayner's still scanning. They got double coverage on 2 players downfield, and so there's going to be a lot of green for him to run. Rayner does have good mobility. And this is a really good first half for the junior quarterback. He floats this one complete. Nana Burris again. East to west, inside the 20. Make it our 4th red zone trip already. Wide open Tyler Fortenberry. Inside the 10. 26 seconds on the clock. We're going to throw it here. And the pass is caught. Touchdown, Arkansas State. And it's a 2-touchdown game already for tight end Javion Fricks. 3 touchdown passes for Rayner, 5 total for the offense. How does 35-0 at the break sound? Could we have drawn up a better first half in the first game of this series? We'll get to the second half in a moment, but first let's talk about today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Control Freak. I've been a fan of Control Freak's controller accessories for a long time, and today I wanted to talk about their clutch thumbsticks. These thumbsticks are designed for sports games, and they're great for us sports gamers that want to maximize our grip and precision. These thumbsticks feel great to use. I've been playing College Football 26 with these, and they've been my go-to thumbsticks. They've been great for running the ball and making cuts with added precision. If you're interested in any of Control Freak's products, my code MrHurriicane will save you 12% on your order. Just follow the link down below in the description. Thank you to Control Freak, and let's get back to the video. What else does this team have for us here in this season opener? Here in the second half, it's FCS Midwest trying to finally get something established. Their best drive ended in that fumble, interception, whatever you want to call it. Here's 3rd and 2, and we're there to make a play. Chris Body again, just all over the place. They're going to go for it. What do you have to lose on 4th and 2? And they get it as we have 2 defenders run into each other and then a missed tackle. Great play for FCS Midwest. And they continue to take it down the field inside the 5, and they cap it off with a rushing touchdown. Of course, I wanted to see this stay lopsided so we could get some backups into the game, but they score to start the second half, and we look to answer. Here's Jalen Rayner handing off, and we get our third running back involved. This is number 24, Devin Spencer. He gains 12 on his first touch. Here's a nice play with Rayner throwing outside the numbers, just perfectly placed to Corey Rucker, his 9th reception. Rayner then bails out of the pocket, fires to Fortenberry, taken inside the 25. Here is a 2nd down and 13. Pressure's given up, and Rayner is taken down. Pressure given up there by the right guard, and this defensive tackle had a couple sacks in this game. That is one concern with this offensive line. Clune Van Andel, welcome to the series. His first field goal is good. We'll see what the kicking journey is like in this dynasty. But it's 38-7 now in the second half. I was comfortable getting the backups into the action here. There's a TFL for Pat Fargas, who's basically the 4th linebacker for us. And then breaking through the middle. I love seeing this interior pass rush throughout the game. Number 97 is Simeon Mitchell. So we get the ball now for the offense, and I am intrigued with our backup quarterback. This is Ryan Rivers, and a good catch made by Devin Spencer, the running back. Rivers is a very accurate pocket passer, and we actually get a defensive pass interference call on this tightly contested play. Rivers looking for a touchdown of his own, but then a blitz forces him off his spot. He does not have great escapability. So the field goal team comes out. Little chip shot here. Clune Van Andel makes it 41-7. Let's go to our next drive, guys. We got a few minutes to go in this game, and it's Devin Spencer breaking away right through the middle. They can't catch him. He's gone. The longest run of the day as Devin Spencer becomes the 3rd running back to score. You know that's a blueprint start to the year for me. I love my running back by committee backfields. 48-7. And then the backup defense tries to clean things up. And I think it has to be, mildly concerning, even if it's a backup unit, when you see the way that this backup offense for FCS Midwest starts to march down the field, whether it's on the ground or through the air. I think that if injuries show up on this side of the ball, we could be in some trouble. And I really got to get to work on recruiting the future defense for this program. I feel like the 4 veterans on offense are going to make everything look a little bit better than it may be. But when you have great quarterback, receiver, and running backs, you can definitely do a lot of damage. And this was a very fun introduction to the season and this series as we win 48-7. This was a really clean game, too. We gave up a few sacks I wasn't too happy with, but the team played really well. 3 touchdown passes for Jalen Rayner on 19 of 22 passing. Kenyon Clay looked good. Cross showed some dynamic skill. And Corey Rucker, we're going to have as much fun throwing it to him this year as possible while we try to develop the next great wide receiver of Arkansas State. What did you guys think of our first game? Let me know your favorite play or what player impressed you the most coming out of this week. The Player of the Game award was actually given to Chris Body for 9 tackles. That's a lot as a D tackle, 4 TFLs, and a sack and a half. The defensive line I thought played really well, but when it came up to the secondary to make plays, that's where things were a little more questionable. We'll get our first bit of Coach XP, and head coach Reggie Carter gets his first win and is now a level 3. But that's the only easy matchup you could say is on our schedule. FCS Midwest was our tune-up game, and we are slated to be Arkansas's tune-up game. It's an SEC opponent, and one day I'd love to see us take this team to the SEC. But these games are good benchmark matchups to see just how far away we are. We play Arkansas and then Iowa State the next 2 weeks. But I really wanted to dive into recruiting and what I'm doing with the team here in Season 1. I want to take you through the very beginning of the recruiting season and show you how our board has been constructed. So here in Season 1, it's a 1-star program, which means we're not going to have a lot of recruiting hours to spend every week. And you can see most of our recruiting pitches are extremely low. In Season 1, we have 16 seniors. Only 4 of them are on offense. Defense is far and away the greatest priority. And I know in this series, I can't just look at how many seniors I have to factor in who could leave in the portal, which means you can never really be too comfortable at any position. You can lose your best players, your depth, and it's easy to become blindsided if you're not prepared. So going through, there are no 5 or 4-star prospects with initial interest in Arkansas State. I did add a few to the board just to send offers, gauge some interest, and see if we could potentially get a big prospect. But I know that most of our attention is going to be on these 3-star players. We have many options who already rank Arkansas State as their top team. In my Buffalo Dynasty last year, I had a lot of really good luck with 3 stars, especially those 3-star gems. I am finding that the players in this game are not as dynamic athletically, and I think the 3 stars maybe aren't as good overall. I guess we'll see as things develop. But I did hand out a few scholarships to those 4 stars. But the first player we're going to scout, come on, it's Reggie Carter, an old linebacker from the Minnesota Dynasty. We scout B.J. Wasevich, and our first player scouted of the Dynasty is a gem. Very good speed and 3-down skills. Good place to start. He becomes a top prospect for us. Then we move on to the secondary. We gotta get better cornerbacks. Devon Jolly, second player, is a gem. Incredible luck to open the season. Let's keep it rolling here. Pass rusher, Devin Noteboom. He is not a gem, but certainly an intriguing player with 79 power moves, 84 strength. I gotta be careful though with how much scouting I do because each player is 50 points. And 450 is not going to allow us to scout very many fully. So in some cases, like in the scouting here with Elias Butt, you have to say at some point, I've seen enough, and just hand out some scholarships. We find the gem here in Randy Haslam at right tackle. I felt like that was a pretty good start. Going into week 0 recruiting, we can already see where some of the interest is headed, and thankfully we go up to first place for B.J. Wasevich. Really want to make sure we can have a good chance at adding him along with Devon Jolly. 25 points is kind of my benchmark for most of these players that I'm interested in right now. And yes, I am even scouting quarterbacks. Kyrie Lacumbo? Is that DeMarco Lacumbo's cousin? Accuracy looks good, but I really wanted to find a good dual threat quarterback. You know, our offensive line isn't in great shape, and dual threat quarterbacks just open up the offense more. Titus Reeves was one I put on the board. 84 throw power, accuracy looks lower. This is what I'm finding more with the 3 stars. They're not nearly as intriguing as they were last year. Keenan Kamara has a lot of similar ratings, maybe a little bit better accuracy. And then we move on to wide receiver. This is Jalen Dwyer. I'm not even scouting him fully, just giving him the scholarship already. We're off to a good start in recruiting our top prospects, and the players I have points on right now have us in first place and only have 1 offer from us. The 4 stars haven't looked good, and then we see Titus Reeves is already locking us out. We just discovered him. So Keenan Kamara right now is one of my preferred quarterback prospects with 84 throw power, 79 speed. Definitely a work in progress. Continuing to scout a little bit here or there. 73 pass block finesse, that sounds good. Nate Montaigne gets the scholarship offer. I decided then to finish off Kyrie Lacumbo. We see 80 throw power. I cannot work with that, especially as a pocket passer. So our target is going to be Keenan Kamara unless we find someone more intriguing. And that's basically everything that was done prior to the game against FCS Midwest. Here's what the board looks like right now. Nobody has more than 25 points put into their battles right now. And these do all seem to be players that are likely heading in our direction. But I know that offers can show up and things can shift quite dramatically at times. For the 4-star prospects, when I saw big schools with multiple offers go into these players, I kind of just gave up immediately. I then scouted Ofisa Orlando. That 45 awareness stares at you, not looking that great. But the speed is pretty good, like 88 speed, 87 acceleration. Not all 3 stars have that. Good short route running, good release. We're giving him an offer. It's interesting starting a new dynasty and suddenly having the tougher recruiting situation with the less hours and everything. But if we can get to level 10 at that point, then we can get recruiter unlocked on the coach tree. But for now, we're putting all of our points into motivator and focusing on the linebackers. We're going to have Arkansas in our next game. And we'll see what a matchup against an SEC team looks like for a team that looked really good in week 1. Arkansas, of course, is a much higher rated team. A much more dynamic quarterback in Talon Green is going to challenge our defense. And of course, the trenches, I think, is where you see the greatest mismatch. If we had occasional struggles against FCS Midwest, I'm sure Arkansas has a few pass rushers that can do a little bit more damage. But stopping Talon Green sounds like an impossible task right now on the surface. And Iowa State has a good quarterback too. This is a team that blew out Arkansas State a year ago, 52-7. What are your expectations for these two games where we're going to be expected to lose by a lot? But I think when it comes to us in the Sun Belt, we have a chance to be successful this year, but I think that there aren't a lot of teams that separate themselves. I see it being very competitive with a lot of good games, and I'm looking forward to that. I hope you all enjoyed the first game of the series. We're going to be picking up the pace, and I will be doing more multi-game episodes. It's a shift that I think is important for this series, and I think it can be very good for my Dynasty formula. I didn't touch on a few things in the last video, but I still intend to do off-seasons live. I feel like that's a channel tradition that is certainly not going to go away. I always look forward to those. But the plan is for most of the episodes to contain multiple games, and single game episodes are going to be for more special matchups that deserve more attention and more coverage of that game. Whether it's a rivalry game or a bowl game, those are the types of games I'm targeting. But also, if I play a game and something big in it happens that really deserves that singular episode attention, then that's going to happen. I'm excited about the new approach to these series. I think it's going to help me get through seasons faster, and it should provide a nice pace to these series as well. Let me know down below what you thought of this episode, and I will see you all next time when the competition gets a little bit tougher.